So, what do you have to look out when you do your building? Well, this is my first house. It's not done yet, but this did cost me around 2,000 wood. It's a two-level house and it's quite big, right? You have the lower level where all my crafting is, and then basically my private area thingy is just up here in the second one. And there are a few things you really have to look out for when you are doing the building. First, let's talk about the hearth. You need to put a hearth down to, of course, start building. And as you might have realized very quickly, especially on the lower levels, there is a limit, which you can see right here. It's going quite a bit up and going also quite a bit outward. Now, keep in mind, this is the level 4 hearth, and with every level, you are also increasing the range of the building area. So you might want to upgrade your hearth a little bit. Getting it to level 2 is super easy, and even level 3 is very much doable in like the first hour or two, so you have more building space. But with that said, what you can do to trick your building a bit is you can pick up the hearth. So let's say you do not have the range, right? And you're realizing, oh man, but I want to build into this area a little bit. What you can do is you can just literally remove the hearth. This will not destroy any of your buildings. The only thing you cannot use anymore are your workshop buildings, right? I cannot craft anything right now, and I cannot build anything new, so that doesn't work till I'm putting down the hearth again. So I can now just put the hearth here. I have to reset my building, or it doesn't recognize the new borders. And you will realize, whoa, I can go far more into this direction than I previously was able to. So if you were in the building mood and you were like, nah, man, I want to build big, as you can see here, the confinements have changed. You can just move your hearth, move it around. Keep in mind, of course, as I said before, if the crafting buildings are not on the vicinity of the hearth, they will not work. So, yes, you can use this to build a bigger house at the beginning, but you still have to make sure that all your crafting items are in the hearth vicinity. One last thing I really want to point out for new builders and who have never done that, and where you will go like, oh, also, as you can see here, I'm flying against an invisible wall because the confinements haven't updated yet. Even though you don't see it, you just have to get out of the building and into the building again, and then the confinements have updated. Just quick note. But no, the one thing I wanted to talk about, which might be a little bit weird, and I am also not a big fan of it, is when you are starting to build walls, you will probably realize very quickly that the walls are basically bigger than the ground floors. So what that means is, more often than not, the walls are a little bit, well, just going over the confinements of the floor. Like you can see that here with the path, right? You can see that right here. It's very narrow. It's super narrow, and you might think, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is like going over here, right? And yeah, that's the game. That's just how it is. It's a graphical thing, and you have to live with that, unfortunately. This is not something you can really fix. The only way how you could fix it is by deactivating the snap, and then you can just build how you want. But I will say, deactivating the snap doesn't look good. You can see that right here, right? Like there is a little bit of a hole, and you might think, oh, that looks shit. Okay, wait a minute. I can deactivate the snap, right? And then I could put something here. And you realize, oh, that doesn't... okay, let's not do that. Right. Like deactivating the snap has done, unfortunately, nothing good for me yet. Like I always work with the snap, and there will be some areas which just look a little bit weird. Some people might call it hideous, but it's not that bad. But yeah, it's really like you will have some corners which are overlapping and which look quite narrow. But as I said, that's just the game. That's how it is. Like you can see this super narrow path. If I would have known that the walls are this close, I would have made this whole path like 2x4s instead of, well, just 1x4, right? So yeah, don't do that. Well, if it annoys you, don't do that. Make it broader. In my case, I was still like, yeah, okay, well, I can deal with it. It's not great, but yeah, it's definitely something to look out for. And that's why I highly recommend to look out for that when you build your base. And that's why your base can become very big very quickly. Yeah. Also, very important to note one last thing before we are signing off here. Your crafting items, your crafting benches and all that, they're big. You need quite a bit of room to fit all the things in your base. So building the usual, I don't know, 6x6 base you see in a lot of survival games at the beginning, the cube, as some people like to call it, might be a problem in this game because, yeah, as you can see here, pretty big, and you might have a space issue. But with that said, we're at the end of the video. I hope it did help. And if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you're new to the channel, you want to see more survival and also RPGs, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe. With that said, stay safe. Bye bye.